Hello YouTube, welcome back to my silly survival world. As you can see from the intro, we have made some huge progress here today. I had some extra time, don't mind the shulker boxes, that is because of my camera mod, but I have finally gotten the railway built out a fair bit farther out. That is not going to be the subject of today's video, but just letting you know, there has been progress. We will get there eventually, I swear. Wait, I don't even know why I'm walking. We are literally on a railway. I should be riding this thing. Oh, I honestly cannot wait to be able to ride out to the Mushroom Village each time. Oh. That's not how that's supposed to work, but that's okay, because I ended up in the right place. Of course, for the last couple of episodes, we have been doing a whole lot of work getting this place in order. That's not excellent, and what also isn't excellent is that our kelp farms that we built are not doing a great job. Ooh, yeah, okay. So I had put some coal into these in the hopes that it would get them kickstarted. I believe right now they are barely self-sustaining, if not dwindling. So at some point, I think we are going to need to take and about 3x these. But the thing is, we really would benefit from having a less efficient fuel source, which is really weird to say, right? But the thing is, the kelp doesn't come in all that frequently, so the more efficient fuel sources end up burning for a longer period of time without actually doing anything. I'm almost thinking, like, what if sticks, right? What if we put sticks in? I'm going to take the dried kelp out, because I know that it isn't going to last. I know that we're just going to waste it, and this is great. 60 dried kelp is awesome. Alright, this solution of mine is going to be a little experimental, but I think it might be something that could tide us over for a while. Okay, all I have gathered is just a ton of spruce wood, and I'm thinking right on the back side of the smoker here, we can set a little something up. I need some hoppers. One hopper here in the back, and then I'm going to want to make ourselves a crafting table, and I am actually going to make us 2 double chests. Now, double chest number 1, I of course want to be hooked up oh, it went into my inventory. Alright, I want that hooked up directly into the hopper here. Now, this is where testing comes in, right? Right now, this is unfueled. If I take a single stick cannot fuel a single piece of kelp. Okay, what can? Can a single plank do 1 kelp, or is it too far overkill? Okay, so it is about a plank and a half, right? Or 1.5 planks. It would take 2 sticks, which is 2 planks is 4. So really, 1 plank can do 1 versus 1 plank doing 1. Okay, I think we're just going to stick planks in here because there is not really a benefit, I don't think, to doing sticks. I was hoping maybe sticks would spread the load out a little bit more. For now, I'm just going to rely on this doing a good job of fueling this for a long time. However, this is obviously not a permanent solution, and I do understand that at some point we are going to need to expand the farm. The good news is, I think even if we only double the size of the farm, that would immediately alleviate the problem, right? Because this right now is very nearly breaking even. So double output would shoot it way past breaking even. There's also there's the possibility that I could just be smart about this and connect the two. No, I don't want to. I will have my uncompromised vision of my creation. I doubt we have enough hoppers for today because we are about to use a lot, but we are going to need to connect this dropper right here all the way over into our kelp output. We are going to do the same for our other, and we have 4 left. That is not nearly going to be enough to connect this into the main super smelter, which is going to be our primary project for today. I am realizing I think my ambitions were maybe a little bit much for this. Let me go ahead and get some extra wood. I shouldn't have used all of it. I'm thinking that I want to make a very classic super smelter, but I do want it to cover this entire range. Now, as for the block that the furnaces will be on, I think it should be probably 3rd block back, like this, right? And then we can do the polished basalt out in front of it or something similar. I want stairs. So 2 blocks back and then a 3rd where the furnaces are. Wait a minute. I think I actually did a very poor job on the floor here. The furnaces were meant, I said on the layer with the polished basalt, no? So the furnaces should actually be on this block like the wall here. Okay, I'm thinking that right there is going to be our furnace array, and then I want a hopper minecart for both the fuel and the items. No, wait, I want this a block further back, actually. There we go. Okay, I think that should be a whole lot fancier. I do want, in the end, the output chest to be in the very center, something about like this, if not multiple layers, but then we have hoppers in the back connecting them. We might do something tiered so that all the items that you need are always in the bottom. I don't typically like those because they're a little bit ugly, but I do think in this case it makes sense for practicality's sake. Actually, looking at it, pretty sure we're going to end up doing something like that. And then all of the hoppers on the bottoms here are going to flow it all inward. Boy, do we need hoppers. Wow, do we need hoppers. Because we are going to need 25, 50, 75 minimum. That's not counting what brings in items for the actual hopper minecart. I'm just going to say that I'm gonna go get 2 stacks of hoppers and come back. Okay, I literally just spent all of my iron. I'm talking a stack and a half of blocks that I had left to make all of these hoppers. So this thing better be worth it. Whoa! Look at the storm clouds! I haven't seen proper storm clouds out of this mod yet. I like them. I like them. This is nice. Actually, now here's a thought. Would we want the output chest to be somewhere down here? It would be less efficient, right? But there's also 25 furnaces, and actually, would it even be less efficient? I'm not certain about that. I think one thing I definitely want to do, one of the biggest issues with these systems here, if I can give a very quick demonstration, I did not mean to sit on the floor. Right, so you'll have a very cool system like this. If I put 50 cobblestone in, you'll see it only takes 5 at a time. And that sucks, because there's a lot more than 5 hoppers here, right? This is clearly not doing its job. That's why I think we should set up a little bit of a system here. I'm thinking it'll be something along the lines of this. We are going to have a detector rail, and I don't have one on me right now, but as you come in to the powered rail at the end, you will have a detector rail maybe right here. This detector rail will turn off the powered rail, and if this will have a, what's the word? Signal extender. That's not what it's called. It'll have one of those and it will wait for maybe 2 to 3 seconds before turning this powered rail back on. That way, the hopper minecart can gather an appropriate amount of items before it takes off again, thus meaning that it should have a much more even spread, gathering at least 50 items before it leaves. Now, if we are to do something like this, I do kind of want to measure what kind of time are we talking for 50 items. You know, I have 50 cobblestone right here. Not long. I would say if we do 3 seconds, we would be in the clear. Now, I think that rule will only apply for when this takes off. It should probably apply to the fuel as well, maybe even doubly so. I don't know, it depends how efficient our fuel is in production. I mean, we have 39 there. The thing is, we're not going to use this thing 99% of the time, and during pretty much any time that I'm online, it will be generating fuel. So I think we will have a backup, and if we are doing a whole lot of items at a time, kelp blocks are incredibly efficient in that scenario. It's the reason they're not good at sustaining themselves is because there isn't enough kelp to keep that burn. But if we are smelting 20 stacks of sand, then it should keep it. Okay, there we go. I've set it up just like this, so I have space to decorate around the chest. We are going to have stairs that come out. Now, we need to get to the backside and add the paths for the hopper minecarts. Change of plans, input, output. I like that a lot better. We are going to just have the output wrap around really quickly. I will stick that in there. We go up the line like so, connect in, and perfect. All of it still comes to the center. Now it just turns off a little bit into the output. I'm thinking that this back wall here, I don't know how well it'll fit with the rest, but I want this to primarily be made up of darker deep slate things, kind of like these pillars have been, and copper. And that will justify me placing a copper bulb right here, putting a button on it, and that's the whole T flip-flop, just a comparator coming out the back. Now, because our input chest would be right here, the minecart will need to travel up to this point. So this will need to be turned on by this T flip-flop. Okay, so I'm thinking that the timer that sets off, that stops this from going off, stops the minecart here to gather more items, that is just going to lock a repeater. So comparator here, redstone runs down the back around, and then it will feed directly into the block here, right? That'll power this. This is going to be a repeater, and a redstone line will come down around from the other side. And this is going to be hooked to a detector rail right here. So a redstone line will come down, power the redstone repeater, which will lock. Right, this needs to come up, repeater faces this way, make the redstone come around just a little bit. That hits that, locks the repeater, this turns off. That needs to happen very quickly. Actually, maybe it doesn't. It depends on the speed of the minecart, so that is going to be testing once we actually have the system in place. I'm also realizing I think these hoppers are going to want to take the items before they... Regardless, we don't want kelp blocks. Right, if we were to build an excess of kelp blocks regardless, this would become relevant. I don't want that, and we need to figure something out about this. Okay, visually I don't love this solution, but I'm sure we can find a way to cover it up in the decorating stage of this project. Okay, so this bottom line is our fuel, right? And I'm just going to say that this block right here is where our fuel is going to come to. That should be pretty easy to do, getting all the kelp blocks to just come through a line of hoppers and then connect into this. I have left a gap right here as well for our detector rail so that we can hopefully set up the exact same system. Right now it is a lever, but I'll probably change it out for a torch. and then we will hit a repeater. It's going to have an extended signal. You know the drill. But what? Okay, real quick. I wanted about 2 to 3 seconds on our pulse extender. So let's go ahead and see. I believe a setup like this should pulse extend. Wow, that actually lasts quite a hot second, but that might be exactly what we want. Now let's put it to use. Down, never mind, I didn't grab a copper bulb. All right, trial chamber time. And all I'm going to do is steal a bunch of copper off of this. I want this one. Ooh, yeah, give me some chiseled. Ow, ow, ow. Yep, nice trial you guys have. Thanks. Thanks, everyone. Really appreciate all the copper that you gathered for me, Mojang employees. I really appreciate it. Honestly, it's no wonder that they made copper drop as much as it does. Imagine just how much work the Mojang employees have to do building all of this. I mean, come on. Oh my god, I think I'm actually going to die like this, dude. I didn't know it'd be this dangerous in this hole. I'm going to play that fast forward because that happened way too many times. I really should have considered getting some food before I came down here. I'm not okay. Alright, I'm done. I'm getting out of this place. I really only need the one bulb. I got us some blocks here so that we can play around with designs later. Oh great, a trial. You know, this is like the one time I would have actually been happy if they gave me bread. Also, I feel like I might have thrown something important on the ground. I don't actually know what was in my hand. I think it was a bone. Why did I come back for a bone, dude? That was not a good decision. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not going down like this. I told you I'm not going down like that, okay? We're gonna sit in this hole, we're going to eat, and we're going to have a nice time. Okay, yep. Now I'm ready to get out of here. Just build up. That's very dangerous. Over here, start going up and out. Now, it is time. This project has been taking a lot longer than I thought for some reason. I don't know why I thought I would be, like, done by now. Alright, copper bulb. We can turn it on or off. We have comparator out the back of this copper bulb. This comparator turns on or off. Redstone comes out the back of this comparator and it connects directly here via redstone repeater. So now, when press button, rail turn on. Very simple. Last piece of the puzzle, detector rail. Detector rail, detect when hit, and that will cause a redstone line to wrap around there, like I was saying. And we'll have a repeater facing directly into this. So now, right, if we press the detector rail, nothing happens. It doesn't turn on, and that's intended. If we were to turn on the copper bulb, the rail turns on. We put the minecart on there, and the rail... Oh, no! No! Because it's locked! No! Locking a repeater doesn't turn it off, it just locks it in the state that it's currently in, and I'm stupid. I'm thinking we could do this with a piston, but that cannot be the simplest solution here, right? There's got to be something that I'm not thinking of. Okay, I think I finally did it. It costed all of our redstone, but I've made this so that the copper bulb will turn off this signal. And if they are both off, then this is on. So it is currently on. If I were to shut the machine off, it turns off. But while this is powered, it will also be off regardless of this. So essentially making this into an OR system that is inverse signal. If anyone out there knows Redstone, forgive me for the misuse of any and all terminology I say. Anyways, all that is left for us now is that we are going to need to extend the signal on this, and that is as simple as 2 comparators this way, 2 comparators that way, 2 redstone at the end, and it is done. Now, if a hopper minecart passes through here, it will keep that off, but only for a very limited time. And I would also like to test if let's just go for a full stack. Will it pick up the entire stack before it leaves? No. Okay, that does not last long enough, and I think that's okay, because I can do something like that. Okay, I think just using the resources that we already had, I have now designed something that is satisfactory. 54 items. Yes. Now that is done, we are still going to actually need to connect this, and of course I am going to need more redstone, which I hate. I hate that so much, but we'll live with it. Next up, we are going to need to pass right by our fuel here, which of course, this is where we're going to have to do another one of these, but this one should be a little bit simpler, I feel like. Yeah, absolutely. It's just going to be a redstone torch down there, and actually nothing else to it. I think that redstone torch is going to be basically another OR gate connected to the exact same button right here. So we are going to need a redstone line, probably just following the railway, really. I think that is the easiest method here. Okay, quick detail. As the minecart is riding up this, I think I want this to be one way because I do not want it to enter so fast that this system doesn't have time to activate. I don't think that should happen, but I don't think we need to take the risk either. We can very easily add a detector rail right above. So no, wait, that was right. A detector rail right here, followed by 2 powered rails, I think, and then just 1 rail. That should get us up to a good amount of speed. Maybe we can get the slightest boost over here. And then finally, this rail right here, I think it will ride right above, like so. And we can connect. Why? Okay, there we go. It's done. Now, I have hopper minecarts on me. 1 hopper minecart right here. That should bounce back and forth. That is going much slower than I would like it to. So I think this is going to be the case for both of them. I am going to want at least 1 power source here in the middle. Okay. This minecart now maintains, I would say, a pretty good consistent speed across. It isn't vastly skipping over it, but it isn't going so slowly that it will enter way too many items into one bunch. I think it's kind of funny this lever works. I mean, I put it here, obviously, I get it, but like, it looks funny. Here comes the serious test of this bad boy, though. We are going to take a minecart with hopper. I'm going to stick a stack of items in here, and I want to see where these end up, if it even gets up there, which I really hope it does. Maybe eventually. Okay, I've been sat here for a while. Why is this where you stopped? You're telling me we can't mount this hurdle. Wow. Wow, okay, fine. Whatever, dude. Whatever. We will have a detector rail, like... Oh, crap. Wait, no, this sucks. I was just saying how I don't want it to go so fast. Oh. Well, that's weird. Okay. This is a very, very jank setup, but... Maybe? Maybe? Come on. Oh. I saw light. Brother. We're actually getting stuck here. Yep, okay. Turns out these powered rails will actually stop the minecart on its way downhill, which is not what I anticipated. Not at all. So I guess we are just going to have to put a lever here, and I really hope that the speed downhill isn't a problem. Okay. Next test. Let's go. This should right up there, no problem. Yeah, zips across. Absolutely zips across. Kind of takes its time on the way back. Oh, no! Yo, it actually stopped. Okay, I probably could have done a better job testing here, but it worked! That feels pretty objectively like working to me. Okay, here comes test part 2. I'm going to put 1 stack. Oh, that wasn't great. That's not exactly how I wanted to test it, but you know what? That's fine. It'll come back. We'll see the results on round 2. It has taken all of the items from the chest, and it should hopefully distribute them evenly. So we should have 3. I will take that. I will honestly take having 3 in each. 2. Dude, I think we might have all of them. No way! We're getting to the last. We got 2 in every hopper. We got 2 in every... Okay, this thing is like perfect, actually. So at this point, all that's left is that we need to decorate this because it still isn't exactly pretty. And then we need to go up above, and I'm going to dig that right now to where the kelp will ultimately end up. I should also check how much kelp we actually have. We have 54 in one and 51 in the other, so we are getting very close to the point that this will start dispensing items upward. All right, quick and dirty job. We have found the location. So this right here is the square out of which the items will pop up. We are going to have to make a small water stream. So this is actually going to need to be a block higher. And in fact, the water I'm going to say is probably going to flow us this direction. That will then go onto a hopper on this block. Okay, here is hopper number... No, I didn't mean to do that. Here is hopper number 2, so I think we are going to want both of these to meet in the middle, and then we have the output chest all the way over there. I really hope that our current hoppers cover the distance. Okay, this chest right here is the output, meaning that we are very likely going to want to just go this way. Now, if the hoppers come directly backwards from here, I'm going to say, then all likelihood, we probably just want to reverse this. Here's what we're going to do. It is going to be a straight line going like this. That doesn't work. Okay, I don't like this solution, but the water is going to flow here. Then we will have this and this block covered. And then the hoppers just kind of have to awkwardly wrap around it and then connect to the first. There we go. Okay, let's go get those water buckets, and then I think the pipe system to the fuel will be complete. Actually, I think here on the inside is... Okay, button won't work. I want to put something like a trapdoor. Hold on, I think a rail would work actually, wouldn't it? Yes, a rail will block the water so the items will flow. They'll land on the hopper there. Okay, both of these are done. That means any items that make it in will come here. Well, I hate to say this, but if we are to make any further progress on this, the next step is going to be adding a similar system right here to what we have at the bottom, but I am going to need more redstone, which means another mining trip. Yo, let's go! I found the mother lode again. Wait, why is this cave actually crazy? This is like just under my house pretty much. Yo! Nice! Oh! Okay, yep, my fault. Dig straight down. Okay, this time around, I think we're good. We are finishing out this project. I don't even care about all the diamonds, dude. If somebody who plays on the server, there's your coordinates. You can come here, get all the diamonds you like. Oh, hey, what a fun place for us to pop out, right where we needed to be. And now, it is time. Wait, I need wood. Alright, comparators. I need more than 3. Here we go. I am just going to make our max... Okay. I am just going to make our maximum, which was 4. Okay, I'm thinking we're going to do the pulse extender the same way that we did it over on the other side. So right here is our detector rail. When our detector rail is set off, it will have a signal. The signal will take 2 different directions, get activate. Oh, that was the hopper passing through. Don't mind it. Now, right here is going to be our wonderful pulse extender, which of course is going to do like so. I ran it into a block. There is power on the other side of this block, and then the comparators come back. So that is a fully functional pulse extender. Now, as for the other end, currently we have a leather, what? I didn't say it right anytime. We have a lever powering this right here, which I do not want to be the case. The power for this will instead come from a redstone torch placed right here. We can see that that has worked. And now we're going to do that. And I think I'm just going to make it come around like so. Now that doesn't work because the torch needs to be placed directly against the block. But now when this comes back, it will stop for a short period of time before being sent off again. I am thinking that this thing is way too slow right now. We might... Could we move this back? Oh, crap. And this one lost power as well, this powered rail underneath it. Okay, this is going to be kind of funny. I think we're going to stick a repeater on this. That repeater should give it a single tick so that the hopper minecart can get a little bit closer before it stops. So let's observe. Okay, I think now it should take off with more speed when it finishes. And not quite. 2 ticks. Okay, 2 tick timer. Perfect. Okay, now it has gone all the way against the wall. That activates again, and it maintains that nice, whoa. Okay, you know what? Yeah, we're done. And I put those in. We have so much junk probably to get out of these hoppers. Okay. So, currently, the way that it is, this is turned off whenever this block is powered. So, like I said before, I want this to connect down the stairs to this. I think we're probably actually going to want to do a torch tower. So the way that it works, if this is powered, so what we need, I want a redstone torch directly beneath this that just will power it. And beneath that redstone torch, I would like a redstone torch. And I believe currently it is not powered, meaning that the system can work. It is operational, yes. Meaning that when we want it off, we are going to need this signal turned on, which means we need to reverse it one more time. I'm going to place a torch here like that. So currently there is no signal connected into the back of this. This is the system turned off, meaning it is turned off. But when we connect it to the power switch here, it is turned on, and thus we should see it enable, and the hopper minecart moves. We did it. We did it. We did it. This is a super smelter. There is one button down here at the bottom that will disable both of our minecarts at the same time. So you can see this one stops, and you can see that this one does not. Well, okay, it stopped in the wrong place. Well, not only that, this is still turned on. What all has gone wrong here? Oh, it's literally just not connected. No. One more time. We are going to reverse the signal on this right here. Oh, right. I feel like I had this exact problem. I didn't get to solve it, and I still haven't. Here's what we will do. This signal has to crap. Okay, this is fine. We can't do that at all. This isn't fine. Yes, it in fact is fine. This is exactly what I would describe as fine. The signal needs to wrap around. One will go this direction. The one that does go this direction hits a torch, and this torch powers that, which will keep that powered rail turned off. Now, we also need an individual power source for this, which the reason this has turned off is because I had it powered by the line next to it and I broke that again. Okay, this, I need to place the torch in such a spot that it won't affect the rest of the system. Nice. I will go ahead and give that a push back up. It'll come back down on its own time. Now, stood here, everything should be off, correct? This hopper minecart is not moving. This hopper minecart has just come in. It is not moving. However, if I press this button, both hopper minecarts should begin to run. Yes! I feel so smart, despite the sheer amount of time it took me to reach this destination. But we've done it! We have a single kill switch. This is the input, this is the output. It pauses for an appropriate amount of time to gather the items. It distributes them evenly. And heck, right now, it isn't yet all that efficient. We do need to expand our kelp farms at some point. I'm thinking I will just quietly expand them out this way. But once we do, maybe just 3x on each side, we should have a pretty handy amount of kelp that will flow through the system. It'll get shot into these dispensers that will plop them up the pipes. And then what goes up the pipes is going to end up at the top. It's going to flow all the way down over here and into the input chest. Well, for the time being, that is all the time that I have. I hope that you have enjoyed me, I guess, over-engineering this machine, if you can even call it engineering. I might be terrible at redstone, let me know down below, but for the time being, I will be seeing you there tomorrow. Bye-bye.